from morning to evening, he was worshipping the Shaligram Shila with offering this manjari leaves, tulsi leaves, and he was just calling out with great love, great compassion for all the living entities who are rotting in this material world, are just absorbed in just enjoying their senses, engaged in sense gratification, rejecting the greatest treasure, that is Krishna Prem. That was his feeling when he was worshipping the deities. That was the way he was crying. And out of great love and mercy, he was just praying to the Lord that, that the Lord should appear. And he was just, calling to the Lord with a thunderous voice that he should somehow appear, somehow, that I cannot deliver. Even though who is he? He is Mahavishnu. He is, Sadashiva, but he cannot deliver all the living entities. He wants that Lord Krishna to appear, and he only should come and deliver all these living entities. So he was like crying, he was roaring. One of the names of Advaita Acharya is Nara. Nara is like lion. So he was roaring like a lion, and he was crying and praying to the Lord every day, day in and day out, that please, oh Lord, you should come. You should manifest yourself here. Without your mercy, without your deliverance, this will not happen. We cannot deliver the conditioned living these conditioned living entities. And during that time, on the full moon night of the month of Falgun, during the eclipse, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Gaurang Mahaprabhu, he appeared in, he was, Advaita Acharya Prabhu was living in Shantipur, and Nimai took birth, this Gaurang Mahaprabhu, he took birth in Navdeep. And there the auspicious in the auspicious atmosphere of everyone chanting the name of Hari Hari, because it was an eclipse and everyone was considered during that time. All the materialistic people, they thought it's such an inauspicious time that we should take the shelter, or we should just chant the name of Hari Hari. Even the Muslims were chanting, everyone were chanting just the name of Hari Hari. And when Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur, they went to the Ganges to take bath, they were so surprised that how is it that this materialistic people, they all are chanting her name of Hari Hari, taking bath in Ganges, and everyone is chanting Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Hari Hari. So they felt that this eclipse should never end only. Let this eclipse last forever. And that is how Lord Gaurang Mahaprabhu, Advaita Acharya was feeling. And they were feeling in such great ecstasy that, they started dancing while taking bath in the Ganges. And they were experiencing such, they were experiencing such ecstatic symptoms that their bodies were shivering, their, hairs were standing on the end, and they were just feeling such great emotion that the Lord will manifest. And just that time, Lord Gaurang Mahaprabhu took birth. And because of Gaurang Mahaprabhu, he covered himself with Yogamaya potency. So no one knew that even though the Lord appeared, even though Advaita Acharya Prabhu was living just few miles away from Navdeep, he could not knew that Lord Gaurang Mahaprabhu has taken birth. So Advaita Acharya Prabhu has, he sent his one of his wife, Sita Thagurani, to Shantipur as soon as he got the news that, Sachi Mata has given birth to a beautiful child. And there, they Sachimata, as soon as Sita Thakurani, as soon as uh, she sees this child, she feels in her heart that this child is very, very extraordinary. In fact, it appears to be thus like the beautiful form of Krishna, and she's very happy, and she offered a lot of different gifts, auspicious gifts on the type of birth. And she's like so happy, and then she comes back to the place of Shantipur. So there's so many pastimes. One of the pastimes which is one of the beautiful things is how Advaita Acharya Prabhu, um, I can speak completely to the lecture on Advaita Acharya, but then we want to hear Bhagavad Gita, so I'll be immediately, going there to Bhagavad Gita. But one of the pastimes is how Advaita Acharya Prabhu, you know, um, um, mother, the mother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she offends Advaita Acharya. Why? Because she sees that Vishwaroop has taken sannyas because of association of Advaita Acharya. Every day Vishwaroop was with Advaita Acharya because he was a devotee and he always wanted to be in the association of devotee. But then he was feeling in great pain to see the materialistic people. In fact, he did not wanted to see the face of any of the materialistic people. So what he does, he takes early bath in the Ganges and he goes to Advaita Acharya, hears Srimad Bhagavatam, chants the holy name, takes part in the Harinam Sankirtan, and at the in the afternoon, he just when Sachi Mata calls him for lunch, he comes back, take prasad, take bath, and again goes back to be in the association of devotees, and that was his routine day in and day out. And one time when they considered, Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata, they considered that we should get married. We should find a suitable match for Vishwaroop. As soon as Vishwaroop heard this thing, that night, without informing anyone, he just left. Left Navdeep. He went to Pandharpur and he took sannyas there. And seeing this, it broke the heart of Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata. Eventually, because of uh, this absence of Vishwaroop, and because of certain things, Jagannath Mishra leaves his body. And at the same time, when Nimai becomes a devotee, he starts going and associating with Advaita Acharya. He is always with Advaita Acharya and the devotees. And during that time, Sachi Mata, feels that, this Advaita, he just thinks that, Advaita Acharya is like, he's not a very nice personality. Though his name is Advaita, he is Dvaita. He's taking away my child. He's just taking away my child. He already took Vishwaroop. Now, if he takes Nimai or Gorang Mahaprabhu, then what will be left? So Sachimata was just thinking. And when it came to this, a time where, Lord Gorang Mahaprabhu in Mahaprakash Leela was giving benedictions to all the devotees, that time, some devotees suggested, why is he not calling Mother Sachi? Why is she not, Mother Sachi is not getting blessed? And just during that time, you know, um, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells that she has offended Advaita Acharya. Because of her offense to Advaita Acharya, I cannot accept her. I cannot give her Krishna Prem. I cannot give her, love of ecstatic love of Supreme Lord Krishna Prem. So, and she felt very bad, and all the devotees were like feeling very bad. And when this thing was heard by Advaita Acharya, that Sachi Devi, Sachi Mata has offended me, he started thinking about Sachi Mata, and he went in ecstasy just because of the glorious qualities of Sachi Mata. He was just meditating, and uh, then he was just thinking of the glorious. He was just thinking that he was just thinking about the qualities of Sachi Mata, and he was feeling in her heart that how can I not, how did how is it that she's the mother of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and how did she offend? And this is not an offense also. She never spoke, she never considered, never did anything wrong, and she was thinking she's the mother of Gaurang Mahaprabhu. And I just cannot see that, this Gaurang Mahaprabhu, and just meditating on the qualities of Sasimata, he goes into ecstasy and he falls on the ground, and, he's fainted. And that time, immediately, Sachi Mata gets this opportunity. She immediately comes and grabs the lotus feet of Advaita Acharya, and takes her blessings, takes the dust of his lotus feet and puts it on her head. And then she's so ecstatic. And because she took the dust of Advaita Acharya, she goes in ecstasy and she falls fainted. She falls fainted. And seeing this, all the devotees are chanting the holy name of the Lord, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And everyone is dancing in Shiva Sangan. And everyone is ecstatic that what an exchange they are seeing between the devotees. And seeing this, Gaurang Mahaprabhu is in ecstatic. And immediately, after some time, when they get up, Advaita Acharya and Sachi Mata, Advaita Acharya feels ashamed that how did Sachi Mata take the dust of my lotus feet. And then, but still, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very happy with the mood of Sachi Mata. And immediately Sachi Mata has been awarded Krishna Prem. So this is like a very wonderful thing, what is happening here. Even if we consider, even if the mother of the Lord, she had offended a devotee, or she has offended, one of the close associates of the Lord, the Lord is not happy with her. Can we imagine, what kind of, um, you know, devotion is required? Uh, what kind of personality one should be that the Lord should accept? If we are offending devotees, even in the mind, by words or by deeds, then, Lord may never accept us actually. So, it's very, very important that one should be very careful of not offending a devotee. It's very important. It's like really important that, we don't offend any devotee. It's, the Lord will never accept, even though we may perform great amount of devotion, great amount of devotional service. But the only hope is that, we never cause pain to others, especially by our words, by our behavior, or by our deeds. This is like such a great lesson Advaita Acharya Prabhu is thinking. In this pastime, we get to learn that even the mother of Lord Gaurang Mahaprabhu, she's like, she's feeling great amount of, she's bereft of Krishna Prem because of, offending a devotee. So, this is like, these are like few lessons what we can learn from these pastimes. And there's so many pastimes of Advaita Acharya, where, how Advaita Acharya is testing Nimai, how Advaita Acharya is testing, they have such beautiful relationship between Nityanand Prabhu and Advaita Acharya. That is another level, it's like we just cannot understand, sometimes the dealings between Advaita Acharya and Nityanand Prabhu are so transcendental that, it's like, we just cannot, perceive. For us, a devotee cannot perceive how these two Vaishnavas, great Vaishnavas, like Advaita Acharya, they are like Advaita Acharya and Nityanand Prabhu, they have a tussle. And by that tussle, who is happy? Krishna is happy. Gaurang Mahaprabhu is happy by the relationship. All devotees relish that relationship. When Advaita Acharya is praying, one time in the house of Srivas Thakur, and Lord Gaurang Mahaprabhu comes there, and he's chanting. Advaita Acharya Prabhu was worshipping the deities, and he asked Gaurang Mahaprabhu. He comes in the mood of Varadev, and during that time, he asked Advaita Acharya Prabhu asked Gaurang Mahaprabhu that, please show me the darshan of your Virat Roop. And just during that time, Nityanand Prabhu is walking around the lanes of Navdeep, and he understands that there is something very special happening. And he immediately runs and he comes to the house of Advaita Srivas Thakur. And there hardly like only Advaita Acharya Prabhu is there, and he is there, and Lord Gaurang Mahaprabhu is there. And immediately, it's like, he gets to see the beautiful form of Virat Roop. And Advaita Acharya and Nityanand Prabhu are praying to the lotus feet, you know, chanting a lot of verses to glorify the Lord. And after the darshan is over, when Gaurang Mahaprabhu is there, Advaita Acharya Prabhu looks at Nityanand Prabhu and tells, "Who invited you to come here?" You know, it's like, you are a avdut, and why are you coming here in this place and, obstructing my darshan? So that is the way they had that mood of Advaita Acharya and Nityanand Prabhu. So there were like many beautiful pastimes when they are at Jagannath Puri also. Advaita Acharya Prabhu and Nityanand Prabhu, they are playing in Indradum Sarovar, and they are playing in the sense they go to take bath with all devotees in the Indradum Sarovar. And Advaita Acharya Prabhu, who is very old actually, his age is around like, the gap between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Acharya Prabhu is almost like 52 years. And 52 years is like a big thing. So he's like a very elderly personality. And he sees that, how can he sees how so he's a very elderly personality, and Nityanand Prabhu is very young. So when they were taking bath, they started flashing water at each other. And especially Nityanand Prabhu being young, he started splashing water at Advaita Acharya. And Advaita Acharya feeling that, he's not like very strong, but he also starts splashing water. And during that time, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami tells that, Vaishnavira Kriya Mudra Bunjena Vitaye. One cannot understand the activities of a Vaishnavas. And it's like very beautiful pastime. In fact, all devotees, they play in the room Sarovar, giving such pleasure to Lord Gaurang Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know, so they are very very beautiful pastimes. I got a message from Shamrasika Mataji that I should continue speaking on Advaita Acharya. So should I do that? I need to take approval from all devotees also. If you all tell, then definitely I'll just keep speaking, or else I'll shift immediately to Gita, whatever you all decide.
Would you please go ahead with the Shamraska Devi Mataji?
Is it request? Okay.
Yes,
O-
Prabhuji. Go ahead,
Okay.
please. Yes,
Thank
Prabhuji.
thank you. Thank you for approving. It's a very beautiful thing that we are hearing the glories of Advaita Acharya. So Advaita Acharya, how he tests Gaurang Mahaprabhu is also very beautiful. Even though the Lord appeared as a as Nimai, as Gauranga, but then he never showed that he is the supreme Lord, and he never showed that he's the supreme Lord. So one time when Ishwarpuri comes to to now Mayapur, and the way Ishwarpuri comes is like a very simple sannyasi. He is the spiritual master. He is the disciple of Madhavendra Puri, and he comes there, but he comes in a very simple disguise. He doesn't come with a great followers or anyone. He just comes on a pretext of being a simple uh, Mayavad sannyasi. He just comes in that robes, and when he comes there, he's like feeling he's going to the house of Advaita Acharya, and there he sees the way Advaita Acharya Prabhu is worshipping such wonderful deities. The way he's serving the deities, he becomes so ecstatic that he starts crying. It's almost like he's feeling great amount of love towards the way Advaita Acharya Prabhu is worshipping the deities. And then Ishwarapuri, he comes there and he recites. And Advaita Acharya Prabhu is thinking in his heart, who is this personality who has come here? It appears to be like, he's a great personality. So he calls Mukunda, and, he asks him to, sing some very beautiful pastimes of the Lord. And when he starts singing the beautiful pastimes of the Lord, immediately Ishwar Puri, he becomes so ecstatic that he starts crying and he starts rolling on the ground by hearing the glories of Krishna. And seeing this, Advaita Acharya Prabhu could recognize that he's a great Vaishnava. And he goes and asks this great personality, I feel that you have such great love for Krishna. Who are you? Please reveal yourself. And he tells that I am the disciple of Madhavendra Puri, I am Ishwar Puri. And Ishwar Puri and they meet like they are both are god brothers. Oh yeah. So one more thing was how Advaita Acharya Prabhu, while traveling from in Vrindavan, he happens to see, Madhavendra Puri actually hears about the glorious Madhavendra Puri hears the glories of Advaita Acharya. And while he traveled to Jagannath Puri, who is Madhavendra Puri? Madhavendra Puri is the one who found the Gopalji deity, in Govardhan. So this pastime also comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that how Madhavendra Puri, when he finds the Gopalji deity appears in his dream and tell that I'm still feeling, you know, great amount of severe heat. Now today's snowstorm, everyone is feeling cold, but the Lord who was in the earth for a very long time, he was feeling great amount of heat. And Madhavendra Puri, Gopalji tells him that you should go and fetch uh, sandalwood from Malyan hills, and make chandan and camphor, mix it and then apply it to me so that I become very cool. So Madhavendra Puri takes this order and he goes to Jagannath Puri. But while going to Jagannath Puri, he hears the glories of Advaita Acharya Prabhu. So he takes a detour and he goes to Shantipur. And in Shantipur, he stays at the house of Advaita Acharya. And when these personalities meet each other, they have such exchanges of great love. Everyone is glorifying each other, glorifying the Supreme Lord, and all of them are feeling such great static love for the Supreme Lord, and they fall. Seeing this great personality, Madhavendra Puri, Advaita Acharya Prabhu falls at his lotus feet and begs him to accept him as a disciple, and gives initiation, and accepts it for initiation. And during holy day in the holy land of Shantipur, Madhavendra Puri accepts Advaita Acharya Prabhu as his disciple, and he gives him Diksha. And this is how Ishwar Puri is the god brother of Advaita Acharya, and Ishwar Puri is the god, is the one who gives, is the one who gives Diksha to, he gives initiation to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. So Madhavendra Puri, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like the devotional tree, and Madhavendra Puri was the seed of the tree, and Srila Ishwar Puri nourished the seed, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being the tree, he divided into two trunks, and one of the trunk is Lord Nityananda Prabhu, and other is Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu. So we can understand, these personalities, how they are like expanding the devotional tree. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being the devotional tree, and Madhavendra Puri, he's the one who had that, acceptance of Krishna Prem, the love what Srimati Radharani and Krishna experienced between each other. That seed was carried by Madhavendra Puri from the spiritual world, and that seed sprouted here in this material world, and that seed formed the tree, and that tree is none other than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the nourishment done to the tree was the Ishwar Puri, because he served Madhavendra Puri, he served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he nourished the tree, and then and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had so many of his associates, and that the tree expanded into two different trunks, and that trunks are Nityanand Prabhu and uh, Advaita Acharya Prabhu. So Ishwar Puri also comes and meets Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Advaita Acharya Prabhu, and they are so ecstatic actually when both of them meet. It's like one of the best meetings. And so Ishwar Puri also stays there with Advaita Acharya, and they are he's very happy to serve the Supreme Lord. And during that time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also meets Ishwar Puri. So one more pastime takes place is about Advaita Acharya is with um, you know is with Haridas Thakur. How Haridas Thakur actually, he also comes and meets Advaita Acharya. So while living in Shantipur, Haridas Thakur, he's traveling all over the different places. First he goes to Benapul, where Benapul, and other places of the West Bengal, Eastern Bengal. And due to various reasons, he has to leave. Benapul is the place where he was, the prostitute was trying to attack Haridas Thakur, trying to provoke Haridas Thakur. So he delivers, because on the request of Ramchandra Khan, Ramchandra Puri, he's asked, he's asked to, he sends a prostitute, and uh, during that time, he leaves Benapul. He delivers the prostitute and he leaves Benapul, and then he goes to Chandpur in Adi Saptagram. There he stays in the house of Balram Acharya and Yadunan Acharya. And when he stays there, they arrange a meeting where, they invite Haridas Thakur and ask him to speak on the glories of the holy name. And when he starts speaking on the glories of the holy name, Balram Acharya, who was the priest of Govardhan Majumadar and Hiranya Majumadar. So when he speaks, Yadunandan Acharya, he was also there, and they all feel very ecstatic. But then Gopal Chakravarti, he feels offended that how can I just hear the glories of the holy name from a Malecha? And he tells that you know now we see, a Malecha is telling to the Brahmanas the glories of the holy name. And what is he telling? He's telling that the holy name, the liberation, is just a byproduct of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And seeing this, he tells, if this is true, then let if this is true, then let my nose fell down. And eventually, within couple of days, his nose falls down. So Haridas Thakur is getting tough time at each place. Wherever he's traveling, he's getting into, you know he has to face something. And during that time, he comes to Shantipur actually. And during this meeting also, Raghunath also comes, and he becomes so ecstatic upon seeing Haridas Thakur, how much he was renounced, how he's chanting 3 lakhs names of Krishna every day. And he feels great amount of ecstasy in his heart, that he also wants to follow in these footsteps of Haridas Thakur. So after leaving Chandpur, Haridas Thakur comes to Shantipur, and this is the place where Advaita Acharya is living. And both of them, they meet each other. And when they meet each other, they are feeling such great ecstasy actually in their lives, in their lives, because they see each other, and they start chanting the names of the Lord. They start chanting the glories of the Lord. They start discussing the glories of the Lord. And uh, they have like such wonderful association. And Haridas Thakur, Advaita Acharya Prabhu requests Haridas Thakur that he please stay nearby. So he arranges a place for him in one of the caves nearby, near the Shantipur, and requests Haridas Thakur that you please stay here and do your bhajan, and so that every day we can come and discuss Harikatha. And Advaita, on the request of Haridas Thakur, on the request of Advaita Acharya, Haridas Thakur stays there, and both of them have such wonderful association. So the time comes when Advaita Acharya Prabhu, he's the foremost of all the Vaishnavas. He's the most senior of all the Vaishnavas, and he's just not the senior among the Vaishnavas, but he's the foremost leader of all the Brahmanas in Navdeep. And just understand what was the situation of Navdeep. Navdeep was filled with all the Brahmanas, all the Bhattacharyas, Mishras, all these Brahmanas, but they considered Advaita Acharya Prabhu to be the foremost leader of all of them. And whatever he did, that became like the trademark of this thing. So every year he used to perform Shad ceremony, and in order to deliver all the ancestors. And the thing when they perform this ceremony is that all the Vaishnavas are invited, all the Brahmanas are invited, and it is like a great amount of privilege, that whom will Advaita Acharya Prabhu honor with the remnants offered to the first remnants offered to after offering to Vishnu, the first remnants offered is to the greatest Vaishnava, greatest saint. So during this time when Haridas Thakur is there, Advaita Acharya Prabhu gives the honor to Srila Haridas Thakur. And even though they were most exalted Vaishnavas, Brahmanas there, everyone was so shocked. Everyone was astonished that how is he that Advaita Acharya Prabhu is doing this thing. And they feel like it's like an earthquake in the hearts of people who did not understand that the Siddhanta of Vaishnava Siddhanta. They think, how is it that Advaita Acharya is honoring a Malecha? Advaita Acharya is honoring a Yavana, a Muslim by birth. How is he that, he is getting the honor? And he feels like Advaita Acharya Prabhu is, honoring, and all these Brahmanas are so confused. What is this? Advaita Acharya Prabhu has done a great mistake actually. He shouldn't be doing this thing. So Haridas Thakur himself was feeling so ashamed that why is Advaita Acharya Prabhu doing this thing? He is, not, he comes and he tells, I am a Malecha, I am a Yavana. There are so many more qualified people than me. Why are you giving such honor to me? I'm not even a Brahmana. And Advaita Acharya Prabhu, with tears in his eyes, with ecstatic love, he tells, by feeding you, I am feeding 10 million Brahmanas. Because you have complete faith, complete attraction towards the Lord, towards the chanting of the holy name. I feel just by feeding you, I am feeding thousands of millions of Brahmanas. And hearing this thing, Advaita Acharya Prabhu feels, Haridas Thakur feels he becomes so humble actually. And he accepts this, the first remnant offered during the Shad ceremony. So Advaita Acharya Prabhu establishes that it's not just by name that one can become a Brahmana, or one can become a Vaishnava, but by the taste, by the taste what we have towards the Lord, what our devotion, what we have towards the Lord, is more important rather than just having the name or fame, like people sometimes have it. So he's tasting the nectar of the holy name. He's considered to be, a, Vaishnava is considered more holy than the Brahmana. Why? Because he's carrying Krishna within his heart. He's carrying Krishna within his heart. Wherever he's going, that becomes all the holy places are like his, are residing in the heart of a Vaishnava because he has Krishna with him. And this is how he feels that Haridas Thakur is one of the greatest Vaishnava, actually greatest Vaishnava, and he's like Namachari Haridas Thakur. So he feels that that such great love towards Haridas Thakur, and he invites Haridas Thakur to live. And in the same cage, actually, when he's living, there was a snake which was living around, and devotees used to come and meet Haridas Thakur. And Haridas Thakur was not bothered with the snake. But the other people who used to come, they used to feel very afraid because of the smell, what was coming. But then Haridas Thakur was on a different level only, and he never got bothered. But then the people who were coming, the devotees who were coming to meet Haridas Thakur, they were telling that it's very dangerous. How is it that you are staying here in this cage? Better you should change your place immediately. Just as soon as this was heard by the snake, the big snake who was living there, he immediately came through the hole and went out from the cave, knowing that this cage should be meant for Haridas Thakur. And he left the cage forever. He never came back. So that is the power of Haridas Thakur. That is how actually, you know, is such wonderful thing what takes place. So Nimai, the small boy Nimai, he used to go to the assembly of Advaita Acharya to call Vishwarup every day. And whenever Sachi Mata used to send Nimai or Gauranga to go and call Vishwarup, so he used to go. And when he used to go, all the devotees, when they are immersed in glorifying the Lord, immersed in chanting the names of the Lord, they feel that they get stuck as soon as they see this little boy Nimai, and they feel there's something special about this child, that we just cannot take our eyes out of him. And we stop hearing about Krishna, we stop discussing about Krishna. There's something special about this child. And then Nimai, he goes to Vishwarup and he pulls his dhoti and tells, Sachi is calling you, mother is calling you, come for prasad. And he takes hold of his dhoti and he pulls Vishwarup back to Sachi Mata. And as soon as he goes, everyone feels as if Krishna has left the assembly. Everyone used to feel bereft of Krishna. And everyone was stunned. How is it that this child is like, so special? So after Nimai becomes a devotee, I'm just going little ahead. After Nimai becomes a devotee, one day during, one day, he goes to, he takes initiation. Nimai takes initiation from Ishwar Puri, and he comes back to the place. He comes back to Mayapur, and there he's feeling such great ecstasy of, asking everyone, asking everyone to all the devotees that where is Krishna. He goes to Gadadhar Pandit and starts crying that where is Krishna, where is my beloved Kana, where can I see him? I wasted my entire life, I did not worship Krishna. Why is it that he has disappeared? And he starts falling on the ground crying, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? Seeing this, Gadadhar Pandit, Shriman Pandit and others, those who are there around, they feel that what they can do, what kind of great love Nimai Pandit Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is manifesting. And then they feel, they call all the devotees that you should come and be with Nima. You should see how he has changed. He has changed after taking initiation from Ishwarpuri. And they tell that everyone should assemble at Shiva Sangan. So at the time when they come to Shiva Sangan, when Shriman Pandit was plucking the flowers, they tell you should see what Nima is doing. He has become a Vaishnava. And this, he's always talking of Krishna. He's always crying for ecstatic love. I have never seen anyone exhibiting such great ecstasy. And this message should be sent to all the devotees. They should come and meet Nimai Pandit. So Lord Gaur Sundar is revealing such sorrow in his heart. So Gadadhar Pandit happens to hear this thing, and he comes and sees Lord Gaurang Mahaprabhu, and he pacifies the Lord, telling that the Lord is there within your heart. So this is how the devotees are like feeling such great ecstasy. And so one day, Gadadhar Pandit, who was equal at the he was equal at the age of the age of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and both of them, they went to Advaita Acharya Prabhu's place, and Advaita Acharya Prabhu was performing arti during that time. So when they come and see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sees the way Advaita Acharya Prabhu is worshipping the deities, the way he is performing with such great paraphernalia, with such great love, he's worshipping his Shaligram Shila, he's worshipping Lord Krishna. uh, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he feels such great ecstasy that he just lies down on the ground and he falls unconscious. And seeing this, Advaita Acharya Prabhu, he takes all the paraphernalia of what he's worshipping Krishna, he takes and he starts worshipping Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And seeing this, Gadadhar Pandit becomes astonished and he's chanting the prayers Namo Brahmana Devaya, Guru Brahmana Hitaya Cha, Jagadhitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Nama. And Gadadhar Pandit becomes astonished. Why is it that Advaita Acharya Prabhu is worshipping Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Advaita Acharya Prabhu is like a grandfather of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But why is he offering the paraphernalia of what he is worshipping Krishna? Why is he offering it to this young boy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya? And then seeing this, Advaita Acharya Prabhu smiles at Gadadhar Pandit and he very gravely tells, how long will you think he's just a small boy, young boy? Just hearing this thing, Gadadhar Pandit understands, yes. In that moment, Gadadhar Pandit understands that this child is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And he is worshipable by everyone. And just after that, Nimai gets up and he walks away. And Advaita Acharya Prabhu is very happy that he has formed the Supreme Lord. He knows now that the Supreme Lord Nimai has appeared, but he still wanted to test. That how is it that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has still not revealed himself to all the devotees. So it was just Advaita Acharya Prabhu who comes to know within the heart that he is there. So Advaita Acharya Prabhu decides that I will test the Supreme Lord. Just like Bhrigu Muni wanted to test the Supreme Lord Vishnu, he also was thinking that let me also test the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he goes back. They are living in Navdeep. Just beside Shiva Sangan is Advaita Acharya Prabhu's place, Advaita Angan. But then he has one more place to live, that is in Shantipur. Shantipur is few miles away on the other side of the Ganges. So he leaves Navdeep and he goes to Shantipur. And when he goes there, during that time, Nityanand Prabhu comes and Nityanand Prabhu was living at Shingarvat in Yamuna, but he realizes that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has started performing his Sankirtan Leela. So he comes back and meets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Nandanacharya Prabhu's place, and they had such wonderful meeting. Advaita Acharya and Nityanand Prabhu, when they meet, it's like Krishna and Balram first time meeting in this incarnation. And when they meet, they have like crying, they are rolling on the ground, their hair are standing, they are sometimes choking up their voices, they are dancing, they are in air. No one knows what is happening, and everyone is so ecstatic, so happy that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityanand Prabhu are meeting each other and they are feeling in great ecstasy. So during that time, Advaita Acharya Prabhu is in Shantipur. So he doesn't he has not seen, he has not met Nityanand Prabhu still that time. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he understands that Advaita Acharya Prabhu is testing me. So when it comes to Advaita Acharya Prabhu, one of the days, Shiva's Thakur, he wanted to perform Vyas Puja ceremony. So he tells Nityanand Prabhu that he should go and garland. He gives a garland to Nityanand Prabhu and he tells, please go and garland Vyasadev. So when he gives the garland, Nityanand Prabhu is not moving from his place, and he's just stood at this place and just looking at Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Srivas Thakur, he tells that the auspicious time is going, now you should go and garland Vyasdev. And he's still just looking at Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he goes to Nima Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he tells, your Nitai, he doesn't hear me. He's just standing there and looking at you. I'm asking him to go and garland Vyasadev, but he's not doing it. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes to Nityanand Prabhu and he tells, oh Nitai, please go offer the garland to Vyasadev. So immediately Nityananda Prabhu, he just sees, he takes the garland which is there and he garlands it to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes very happy and he manifests a beautiful form of Shadbhuj Roop. And for the pleasure of devotees and Nityanand Prabhu, they see this beautiful form of Shadbhuj Roop where he's holding, uh, you know, a kamandalu in his hand, and he's holding like, the bow and arrow of Lord Ramchandra, and he's playing a flute. This beautiful Shadbhuj form of the Lord, he manifests. And seeing this, Lord Nityanand Prabhu, he goes into ecstasy and he falls unconscious. And during that time, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu calls out, Nara, Nara, where are you? Nara, where are you? I have come for you, and you are not here, Nara. So immediately he calls, Sri Ramai Pandit. And who is Sri Ramai Pandit? He is one of the brothers of Shiva's Thakur. And he calls and he tells, go to Shantipur and give this message to Advaita Acharya, that tell him that the Lord has come, the prayers he has been doing has been fulfilled. Tell him that the person who he was praying for, the person who was, whom I was fasting, whom you were fasting for, with whom, you were crying that, he should come, that Lord has come. Now you come and worship him. And immediately, Sri Ramai Pandit, he goes to Shantipur. He goes to Shantipur on a foot, and then there he meets Advaita Acharya, who was who was in the mood of still testing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when he sees Sri Ramai Pandit, he asks, "What is the message?" And he said, "Vishwambar Nimai has sent a message for you. He tells, the person you wept for, the person you fasted for, the person whom you prayed for has come. He wants you to come immediately and worship him." And Advaita Acharya starts laughing in ecstasy. Bole, and he starts questioning Sri Ramai Pandit. Where in the scriptures does it say that the Lord will come in this form of human being in this age of Kali? I don't see any any scriptural evidence. Why are you telling this thing to me? And Ramai Pandit starts laughing, and he tells Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu, you already know everything. Why is it that you're telling like this? Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu becomes very ecstatic and he starts dancing in ecstasy. And he tells Sita Thakurani and his sons that, we should gather all the paraphernalia and we should go to Navdeep immediately. And when he goes to Navdeep, he tells Ramai Pandit that don't tell that I have come. Let me hide. And he goes to Nandanacharya Prabhu's house, and he hides himself. And he tells, don't tell anyone, not even to the Supreme Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Advaita Acharya Prabhu was, hiding in his place of Nandanacharya Prabhu's house. And there, after hiding, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes from the house of Srivas Thakur. And on this day, he goes directly to the house of uh, Nandanacharya. And he tells, go to the Nandana, he doesn't go, but he sends Ramai Pandit and he tells, go to the house of Nandanacharya and call Advaita Acharya and tell him that, he should come immediately and pay prostrated obeisances to me. And, just seeing this, Advaita Acharya Prabhu comes running, from the house of Srivas Thakur, and he pays obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And there he applies beautiful chandan to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He garlands he garlands Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he offers beautiful bhoga, what Srita Thakurani has made. And then, they perform beautiful arti. And in this way, the way we worship the deity the same way Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is worshipped. And he's like accepted. He accepted the mood. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in the mode of a Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he accepted that mood. He accepted the love of Advaita Acharya Prabhu. So this mood was very less manifested by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted, like, had this mood very few times in his pastime, that he was the Supreme Lord. But most of the time he was always in the mood of a devotee, and especially in the mode of a servant, always serving. So one time, when they keep performing Harinam Sankirtan at Shiva's Thakur place, you know, he feels Advaita Acharya Prabhu always feels that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should accept him as servant, but he's always accepting him as a master, and he feels that I don't deserve this thing. I'm a servant, but he's accepting me as master. So this is like such a great pain to the heart of Advaita Acharya. Especially during Mahaprakash Leela, during the 21 hours festival where, the Lord is fulfilling all the desires of his devotees. He calls Advaita Acharya Prabhu also. And he asks Advaita Acharya Prabhu that, what boon, ask for a boon, Sri Advaita, please ask, what will you want? And he sees, Advaita Acharya Prabhu says during that time that I don't deserve anything. To see, you are the most, you have delivered so many living entities. You are, I'm so fallen, I'm so sinful, and I'm very grateful to you, Lord, for manifesting yourself. But he tells one thing, that I do you remember that, the Lord, he tells that, oh Lord, do you remember, I made such wonderful offerings to you and you ate it. Do you remember the verses I recited for you, and the Bhagavad Gita verses? So he tells so many different beautiful prayers, and he comes to the ecstasy, ecstatic point where he tells that, oh Lord, you can deliver everyone, you can deliver all the living entities, but those who are atheists, please don't give them bhakti. The Advaita Acharya Prabhu is feeling pain in his heart, because he's the one, he's telling that, that the Lord should, should, those who are atheists, especially, they should not get bhakti. And then, the Lord, fulfill all his desires, and he become ecstatic, in this beautiful pastime. So one of the pastimes, where Advaita Acharya Prabhu, he tricks Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to accept him as servant. We'll discuss this and then we will end, because there are so many other pastimes. There are pastimes in Jagannath Puri. There are pastimes when Advaita Acharya Prabhu is traveling to Jagannath Puri, having wonderful pastimes there. How they had beautiful drama festival. And then Advaita Acharya Prabhu is ecstatically performing, seeing the drama of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how Lord is enacting. So there are like so many pastimes of Advaita Acharya Prabhu, because he is like a prominent personality. And Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat, they are everywhere. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there. There is Advaita Acharya and Nityanand Prabhu and his associates, and there are like so many wonderful lessons actually. Just when we learn, when we hear about these personalities, we become so purified. We become so that we also want to accept this mode of always being in the mood of servant. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as I was just telling, that he always considered Advaita Acharya Prabhu to be like a god brother, because senior god brother. It was like Ishwar Puri and Madhavendra Puri had given initiation to Advaita Acharya, and Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Ishwar Puri. All these were like they were like the disciples of Madhavendra Puri, and they were like so great. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered them to be like senior god brothers. Senior god brothers. It's like we consider proper disciples like that. He used to consider like that. Advaita Acharya Prabhu was like the god brother of his guru. Of his guru, it's like god brother of his guru. So he was always paying obeisances whenever he met, and he was worshipping. And Advaita Acharya Prabhu just could not tolerate this thing. He told, I wanted to be a servant, and now see what is happening is that I am becoming like a master, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is just serving me, and this is not at all accepted. So one day when Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was walking around the bank of Ganges, he happened to meet some materialistic people, and the materialistic people wanted to harass the Lord. So they started calling Nimai, calling him that, do you know the king is calling you, is calling to meet you, because you are doing all this secret Harinam Sankirtan in the house of Srivas Thakur. You are closing the doors and you are loudly chanting day in and day out. The king is really envious of all of you, all the devotees. The king is really coming, and is coming with all his soldiers to come and harass you. So not only Nimai, the people of the king will harm you, but he will harm all the people of Navdeep. So they are, we all feel that you're doing such disgusting thing in the night. You're all night screaming, you're day in and day out, you're just calling. So they start cursing Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just smiles at them, and he tells, oh, the king wants to meet me, the kings want to see me, very good. I would like to discuss the philosophy with him. I would like to debate with him. And this is how he just have a conversation, and he start walking away, from that place. And seeing this thing, that he happened to meet such materialistic people. He enters the house of Shiva's Thakur, and then he tells, please, oh please, everyone come and chant the name of the Lord. I just happened to meet so many materialistic people, and I feel contaminated in the heart because I heard the blasphemy towards the devotees and the holy name. And so I need to get purified. And the way of purifying is by hearing the glories of the holy name, by hearing the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So please begin the kirtan, begin the chanting. And seeing this, all the devotees, all the associates, they start feeling ecstasy. They start, you know, um, they start chanting the name of the Lord. And when they were chanting, immediately what happens? The Lord actually, after chanting for some time, he falls unconscious, you know. And then when he is in ecstasy, Advaita Acharya Prabhu, he feels this is the opportunity. What I can do, I can secretly go and take the dust of his lotus feet. And immediately Advaita Acharya Prabhu goes and takes the dust of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when he takes the dust of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after that, immediately Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets up and he feels that, oh, someone has come and taken the dust of my lotus feet. And he asks, who is it? And all the devotees, they don't speak, because they cannot take the side of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or they cannot speak, who has done this thing, or they cannot take the name of Advaita Acharya Prabhu also. So everyone was like little bewildered. What will happen? And just during that time, Advaita Acharya Prabhu understands the situation and doesn't want to, make other devotees feel uncomfortable. He comes forward and he tells that, yes, I have taken, the dust of your lotus feet. I have taken the dust of your lotus feet. He tells this thing very beautifully. He tells that, when a thief, when a person actually who has great amount of treasure, if he is opening the gates and he's not guarding it, what will the thief do? He will just go and rob him. So same way, when you were trying to, you have Krishna Prem, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and you were going in ecstasy, and you were living, you're giving your dust to everyone, you are giving Krishna Prem to everyone. I wanted to steal that. Seeing this thing, just hearing the word that, someone has stolen from him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu feels that he doesn't have any love for Krishna. His love of Krishna has been stolen. So immediately he just runs away through the door of Srivas Thakur, and he runs towards the Ganges. He goes to the Ganges and jumps in the Ganges. And immediately Haridas Thakur and Nityanand Prabhu run behind Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when they see that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has jumped in the Ganges, they also jump in the Ganges. Haridas Thakur pulls the feet of the Lord, and Nityanand Prabhu pulls the hairs of the Lord, and they bring him to the shore of the Ganges. And when they bring him to the shore of the Ganges, and the, that time Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, why did you save me? And then the Lord Nityanand Prabhu replied, why did you jump in, Lord? And then seeing this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells, because I don't have any love for Krishna, that is the reason. And then Nityanand Prabhu pacifies the Lord, and he tells that, please come back. So during that time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he actually goes to the house of Nandanacharya, and then he lives there actually, and then he doesn't go. Seeing this, all the devotees actually, Advaita Acharya and all the devotees, they feel that the Lord had disappeared actually. The Lord has left us, and they start crying, they start weeping, they start fasting, and they feel, Advaita Acharya Prabhu feels in his heart that because of my arrogance, because the way I acted, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu feels such great pain that he has left all of us. It is as if my life and soul has gone now, and there is no reason that I should be alive now. And seeing this thing, Advaita Acharya Prabhu is feeling such great pain in his heart. And when the Lord next day calls Srivas Thakur slow, without anyone notice, he asked what is the mood of all the devotees, especially Advaita Acharya. And Advaita Acharya Prabhu, Srivas Thakur replies that he's just weeping, he's just crying, he's just weeping and crying, and just wants to be with you, O Lord, just want that he should return to your place. And so the Lord tells Advaita Acharya, please, at that moment, the Lord immediately went directly to the house of Advaita Acharya, seeing what is the condition of Advaita Acharya. And Advaita Acharya Prabhu falls unconscious. And the Lord calls him, with his name, and he gets up. And then he feels little ashamed what experience he had given it to the Lord. And the Lord speaks, you should know that the punishment of the Lord is his mercy. He gave an example, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives an example that as a king has very intimate servants, the servant who is in charge of collecting the funds, the servant who is in charge of collecting the taxes of the citizens, they are given the taxes to the king, and then they give the taxes to the king. So he has such an authority. He has the power of the king. But as well as giving that authority to the person, if the person misbehaves, the king will punish him out of love. When the servant misbehaves, it is the love of the master to punish him. So when a person is given a place, hearing this thing, Advaita Acharya Prabhu becomes very ecstatic. He tells that means you have accepted me as your servant because you have punished me, and then he begins to dance in ecstasy. So he falls at the lotus feet of the Lord, and with great love and happiness, he is serving the Lord. To the rest of my world, to the rest, you are giving an opportunity to serve, but you never let me serve you. And he falls at the lotus feet, and he wants to honor the Lord, but then the Lord doesn't accept him to worship him. So this is how Advaita Acharya, Mahavishnu, he is actually always wanting to serve the Supreme Lord, but he is always feeling great amount of love towards the Lord, and he always wanting to serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there is this very beautiful pastime still in the heart, that the Lord has accepted Advaita Acharya, but still, he feels that, unless the Lord punishes me, I will not be able to accept him as my Supreme Lord. So just to fulfill this thing, Advaita Acharya Prabhu goes to Shantipur eventually, uh, and then he starts preaching the impersonal philosophy. And when this word spread that Advaita Acharya Prabhu has started preaching the impersonal philosophy, all the devotees become bewildered. Well, what is he doing? Haridas Thakur, Nityanand Prabhu, they all understand in the heart that this is a trick of Advaita Acharya. He is trying to, get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, this news comes to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. And he tells Advaita Nityanand Prabhu one day that let's go and visit Advaita Acharya at Shantipur. So they all walk towards the bank of Ganges, and while walking, they come to the bank of Ganges. And when they cross the bank of Ganges, they see Advaita Acharya Prabhu is sitting on a Vyasasana, and there he is speaking the philosophy of the impersonal Brahman. And there, as soon as he sees Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he tells that impersonal Brahman, impersonal realization is more greater than the path of bhakti. And path of bhakti is inferior to the path of impersonal realization. merging in the Brahman is more supreme. Hearing this thing, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes little shocked that really Advaita Acharya is speaking these words. And then, he goes and tells Advaita that, what is supreme? Tell me what is supreme. And still Advaita Acharya Prabhu is just telling that impersonal Brahman realization is supreme. And hearing this thing, it's like it's breaking the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He goes on the dais, pulls Advaita Acharya Prabhu to the ground, and he starts punching Advaita Acharya Prabhu. And Sita Devi, who is just standing there, tells, "Oh Lord, please save. He's an old man. Please don't harm him. Please don't harm him." And Nityanand Prabhu, who is there with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is laughing. He is laughing, seeing how Advaita Acharya Prabhu is receiving the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And all the devotees who were there, they understand. And then immediately, as soon as the Lord starts beating Advaita Acharya Prabhu after some time, he tells, Advaita Acharya turns to the Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and tells, "Now where is your humility? Where did that Nimai go? Where did that Gauranga go, who used to fall at my lotus feet and take the dust and run away and never allowed me to touch your lotus feet? Now where is that? Now you have really accepted me as your servant. I'm so happy that you're punishing me. I'm so happy." And he starts dancing in ecstasy. And seeing
Then
this thing,
I'm
Advaita Acharya, Advaita Acharya,
do
Advaita Acharya Prabhu, he feels, he feels, uh, he feels very ecstatic. But then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he feels little embarrassed. "Okay, what am I doing?" And then, so just imagine, by this pastime we can understand how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, uh, you know, Advaita Acharya Prabhu wanted to be in the mood of servant. He wanted to serve. He wanted to serve the Supreme Lord. He wanted to be always in the mood of servant. He's Mahavishnu, but he wants to come and serve the Supreme Lord. Now here we are, we want to become master. That is such a very wrong understanding of ours. We also always want to become the servant. Jivere Sarup hoy Krishnera Nitya Das. So if we don't become the servant of the Supreme Lord, and if we want to become master, then there is no point. We just want to become the servant of the Supreme Lord, and we want to serve him. That is the mood Advaita Acharya Prabhu always had, and that is the mood what we also should imbibe today. We should pray to the Supreme Lord that let me develop the compassion what Advaita Acharya Prabhu has. What compassion Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is exhibiting. What and let me be in the mood of some humble servant of servant. That should be our prayer during this today's day, meditating on Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu. So it's like very wonderful to hear such wonderful glorious pastimes of Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu. But I've always almost exceeded more time through our call. So I want to end just with a small anecdote of a story of Srila Prabhupada. When Srila Prabhupada was in his college time, he also took part in the drama of performing a drama. And in that drama, he took the role of Advaita Acharya Prabhu. And the way he performed the drama was so wonderful that he learned, he was in the mood of Advaita Acharya Prabhu, and he was playing the drama so excellently that everyone who were there in the theater, who were watching the past the this drama of where Srila Prabhupada was acting, everyone was crying. Everyone was crying because he performed with such great mood. It was like, and this is the mood what Srila Prabhupada has come. He's crying for the love of God, and he's feeling the compassion what Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu is feeling, and he's come to deliver all the fallen souls actually, just becoming an instrument in the hands of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's like so wonderful, when we hear about this wonderful pastimes of Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu. So please pray. Today is a very auspicious day, a day where Advaita Acharya Prabhu you know, has appeared, and he has appeared for all of us. He has appeared to this world just to deliver all the conditioned souls. Everyone is suffering actually. Everyone is suffering. Everyone there are, adhyatmika klesh, adidevik, adibhautik kleshas, which all the living entities are suffering. And these kleshas are going to make a living entity suffer more and more. Everyone is going through these miseries, and the only way one can attain, overcome these miseries is when we get the ecstatic love, when we get the bhakti, when we get the, when we get that Krishna prem, what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates are coming and giving. So it's our opportunity that we should take this thing and try to spread it as much as possible. So I, please pray today, and please pray to Srila Prabhupada, pray to Advaita Acharya Prabhu, and be in that mode today, and that will be the wonderful thing what we can do. So I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu ki jai. Jai. Hare Krishna. Anyone has
Yes.
any reflections or any comments for a minute we can take? We are already over time.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Such a wonderful class. You uh, take on this topic, Advaita Acharya Prabhu, and so many pastimes, nice pastimes we heard today from you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for nice class.
Hare
And
Krishna.
I saw your mood, so it's a good to whatever you mood, rather than changing the topic in Bhagavad Gita. So I think that's a good thing,
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. I had a question, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. So you mentioned that so when Advaita Acharya was speaking in personal philosophy, so Prabhuji, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, and he is sitting in the heart of every living, every person. So he knows, he knows Advaita Acharya's mood, that Advaita Acharya does not mean what he is saying. He is speaking in personal philosophy only superficially. But still, why does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he gets angry with Advaita Acharya if he knows Advaita Acharya does not mean what he says?
Yeah. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows in the heart that what Advaita Acharya Prabhu is doing to get the mercy of the Lord. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also wanted to give the mercy to Advaita Acharya Prabhu. So that is one of the reasons, like, he goes and punishes Advaita Acharya Prabhu by, becoming very angry at him. In the heart, definitely, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows. But, it's like when the Lord is performing the pastimes, the Yoga Maya, covers these things so that the Lord also can relish. If Lord also knows that what the devotee is going to act, beforehand, then, the Lord will not able to relish the pastimes. The Lord will not be able to relish these things. So that is why, the Lord is not aware in that situation because of the covering of the Yoga Maya. And then immediately, as soon as the pastime is done, it's like the Lord knows in one way. But then he is covered by his own internal potency so that he can perform these pastimes. Loving exchanges can be taken place. If the Lord knows that Nityanand Prabhu is going to hide in Nandanacharya Prabhu's place or Advaita Acharya Prabhu is going to hide. So if he goes without anything and he's already there, then there will be no relishment in the pastime. So the Yoga Maya covers this covering to the Lord and his devotees. All the devotees could not understand. Can you imagine? Mahaprabhu is there, Krishna is descended and is living amongst the devotees, and for almost like 20 years or so, or like 15, 20 years, no one knew that he is the Supreme Lord, and everyone just considered that Nima is just an ordinary boy, or just an intelligent boy, who can learn shastras, who can defeat anyone and everyone. But then everything is covered by the internal potency of the Lord Yogamaya. So everything is covered for the devotees as well as for the Lord sometimes. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, my name
Hare
is
Krishna.
Urvi. I'm a new student. I have very good lecture, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for it. In your stories, what I'm learning is that, God accepts devotion and does not care what is our identity, right? But I see
Yes.
in our rituals, there is lot importance given to identity. In Kirtan, nobody asks, what's your gotra? But anytime we do any havan or puja, it always asks, what's your gotra? So I'm little bit confused, Prabhuji, that God, you said there is no identity in spirituality, but in rituals, there is lot of identity. So what is the relationship?
See, when we perform any yajna or anything like that, we want to specify who is performing. So when we are performing, just so that the Lord You see, the Lord knows definitely that you are performing the Harinam Sankirtan or you are performing the Kirtan, hearing Katha. But then just to offer the obligation so that, see, when you send a letter, you send it to the right address. Same way, when you are performing yagya, if you tell that, oh, I am, you know, Shri Gopal Prandas coming from this Gotra, living in this place, and performing this sacrifice for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord or for this purpose, I am performing this Narsimha Yagya, or I am performing for the protection of the devotee or for the age, so that, this obstacle can be overcome. So when we perform this thing, we are sending a request to the Lord. So we are sending through this proper channel. So that is like a channel when we tell. So when we are performing Harinam also, definitely we are praying to the Lord. But then the main thing is the channel has been properly, or the address has been properly been given. So according to my understanding, it's like a way we are just telling that this, oh Lord, I am performing this sacrifice. Please accept this sacrifice or this yagya, the fruit of the yagya, whatever you feel. So that is the mood when we tell, when we have gotra, different gotras or anything like that, when we tell in while performing the pastimes.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Anything else? It's already very late. So Hare Krishna. So we will end here. Jai Shila Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Samayat Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai,
Jai.
Jai Gaur Premanande Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu ki jai.
की जय।
Jai.
Grace, Shri Gopal Pran Prabhu ki jai.
जय। दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
Dhanyavad.
Dalvat Pralam, Prabhuji.
So
ऑल
next,
असेंबल डिवोटीज की जय।
Hare Krishna.
हरे
श्यामा रस का माता जी की भी जय।
Hare Bol, all glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण हरि बोल।
Hare Bol.
Hari Bol.